Very good morning, all. Welcome to my session. We are going to see the topic called JavaScript events. This is under module number 3 as a JavaScript. Now we will see what is event. So HTML events are the things which is happening to the HTML elements. When JavaScript is used in this, then definitely JavaScript can react on these events, and we will see these HTML events to the things like, for example, how we can find out the event, or how we can detect the event. When once HTML web page got finished loading, otherwise, if for example when a user clicks the button, otherwise when user is giving the input, these are the some events we can find out what are the events we can find out. So these HTML events can be like how the either can what the browser can do, otherwise what the user can do. So this is how these HTML events will work, and these HTML we can call it as event listeners also. And these event handlers is used to handle and verify the user actions and user inputs and browser actions, things that should be happen when a page opens, and things that should be happen when page close. And then if any user wants to update the data, or if any user wants to click the button, so these are the events we can find out. Then the Java let once an event was detected, then let's see JavaScript code can execute, and how the JavaScript code can execute once an event got detected. The HTML event attributes just call the JavaScript function directly, and HTML event attributes can call the JavaScript code to execute once an event got detected. And you can assign your own event handler, and then you can just these events can being prevented by sending previously. And we can say that this event is triggered and it can be called by the some JavaScript functions. And in original JavaScript we can specify right in HTML mark to the JavaScript code. As more powerful frameworks were developed and website design and best practices were redefined, the original mechanism which was implemented by the listener approach. So that we can call this event is also called the event listener. And this is the techniques we are using over here. One is old inline technique and new layer listener technique. And event handler approach. So the events we can use over here is on click. If you want to, for example, if you want to submit the forms or anything, so that if it is empty, then you will be getting an alert message, the field is getting empty, or if returning a false statement, all those like pop-up messages you will get. If you want to alert to pop up when you might have used on click is equal to alert of hello. The problem with this type of programming is that a HTML markup and corresponding JavaScript logics are woven together. It does not make use of layers. It does not separate content from the behavior. So that is the main drawback by using that inline approach and listener approach. So by using this listener approach, we can go for a document object to registering the listeners. They can find out what event can detected, and for that what reaction JavaScript code can execute. These are the things which is happening in the listener approach. And using functions, here how we can encapsulate within the functions. So listening to an event with a function, if you want to go to display the date, then you can give a new date for the variable. And if you and then you will be getting an alert message, can find out the date. Otherwise you can go for on click, then you can display the current time, current date from the server. And you can by how you can access these nodes means by giving document dot get element by id. So this is one of the approach. And another approach we can go for, you can if you want to click the date, I mean a displayed date, you can go for add event listener. So this is the two approaches we can go for. And anonymous functions. And by using on click or on mouse over, you can go you can get your events whichever you need. So if you click this, you can get the new date for the string. An event object, no matter which type of event we encounter, everything is based under document object model only. And the event associated with them can access and manipulate them. Typically, we can see the events passed to the function handler as a parameter named e. If you want to do some prevent some default behavior, means you can go for the parameter named called e, and you can use any event handler if, whatever you want. E is the event that triggered this handler, and there's so many options called bubbles, cancelable, and prevent default over here. Like bubbles, when we see this bubbles, this property is set to true, there must be some event handler in place to handle the event, or it will bubble up to its parent and trigger an event handler there. And cancelable, so the cancelable property is actually a boolean value, it indicates whether or not the event can be cancelled. And prevent event by using the parameter called e, and you can use any event handler to prevent your default behavior. I mean, to can you can stop using default method, like, and then this is how we can prevent the default behavior. And this is this submit button, this submit button is like your event handler, and inside we can see this the parameter called e. If your event can be cancelled, or if your event wants to get you want to get default, I mean, you can prevent your default. So this is a sample event handler function that prevents the default event. So these are the event types. One is mouse events, keyboard events, form events, and frame events. So when we see this mouse events, we can mostly use the event handler called on click or on. This event is we can use this event once the mouse was clicked on an event, and DBL click means if the mouse was double clicked on an event, and on mouse down the mouse was pressed down over an element. So these are the events we can use for mouse events. And mouse up. Once mouse was released over an event, you can use the event called on mouse up, and on mouse over totally opposite of your on mouse click. If you no, if you don't want to click, then you can use on mouse over. This is a complement of on mouse click. On mouse out, the mouse was moved off an element, and on mouse move, the mouse was moved while over an element. And these are the keyboard events, and very simple. And before going to press, you have to give on key down. So the user is pressing a key, this is the this will happens first, and on key press, afterwards the user presses a key, then at last on key up will takes place. And this is the input type of the input. In input box we are giving a text, and for example this could be listened to, and each key pressed echoed back to user as an alert. So in previous slide what we have discussed only this one. Listener just hears and alerts the key presses. Before going to key presses, he just give on key down, and then he is going for key presses, and then he is giving up. And these are the form events. Form events, or we are using the before going to these events and its descriptions, we need to give I need to give some little intro about this form events. Whatever the forms we have to submit, okay, before any forms, there should be an alert message, whether that form is required any information, or it should be empty. For the form is having no information or nothing in that forms, then you'll be getting an alert message called there is no statement, or there is no information in the form, so that the forms have been submitted. Whenever the form submitted, the JavaScript called automatically. So now we'll see on blur. So if you lost the focus, a form element has lost focus, then this event can be useful. Perhaps due to a click or tab key press, you can use this event. And on change, if you want to do some modifications, or if you want to select some new choice means, you can go for on change. And on focus, and this is a complement of on blur. When an event gets focus, then you can go for on focus. The user clicks in the field or taps to it. On reset, this event is triggered when that happens. And on select, this is used to try and prevent copy paste. When the user selects some text. On submit, when the form is submitted, this event is triggered. And if you go for pre-validation, when the user submits the form in JavaScript before sending data onto the server. In on submit, it just checks whether the field is getting a required information or not. Otherwise, what will happen? You will be getting a false return message.